Okay, just did a video pull up. This is a sundowner sav2 12D2 dual 2 ohm voice coil. So I punched in both boxes. The parameters, this is your parameters for your stock box. I'll move this one out of the way so you can see. So this is what the box it recommends. It recommends a 1.75 net volume. 33, it recommends a 35 hertz box. But when you punch in the parameters that they recommend, 13 inches by 2 inches, which gives you a 26-inch square inch cross area, which means port opening, at 32.25 inch long, it actually brings this down to 33. Now, if I type in instead how it says recommends for 35, if you look at the vent, as you see, now the distance changes. So it's kind of weird how it changes what it is, because now it's 28.34. So on the site, it says 32.25. So we punch that in again, it brings it back down to 3307. So when you punch in, so if you were to build that box, as you see compared to this, if I change this, the vent, if I change the box size to 35, you will see that gray line jump, a very dramatic change. But it says that the vent size then is a different size. So I don't know why the site is saying that. I'm not sure if it's just a typo, because it goes to another site for the box. It's not right on their site. It's a click for a link. But regardless, so there's the two differences. Now, I looked at this box and I made this and said, what if you go with a 0.5 a little bit bigger? And what I noticed is vent size is also still 13, but I went with a 2.5-inch port instead, which made it a 32.5 over a 26, which is still 29 inches in length. And as you can see, very dramatic change. A lot of the lower end to shake the crap out of your vehicle and then still performs. Sorry, I'll put this back because that's 32.25. So you can see a very huge difference all the way even in the lower of the minus 3 dB. It obviously climbs over all of it and then levels out so the lines follow each other, where you couldn't even tell the difference between the boxes, all the way up to 52 hertz. I'd say a little bit further, right about there, 58 hertz. That the second box with a half a cube. Now, don't get me wrong, we all know that a bigger box will automatically outperform a smaller box, unless the subwoofer really calls for a really small enclosure. Again, with the rear port velocity, because I went with a bigger port, 0.5. If I go with a 0.375, 0.2 and 3 or 2.38, which is 2.375, I can match the port velocity, but it's better to have an oversized one than an undersized, because then you get no port noise. That means the lower this is, zero noise you hear coming from the port except bass. You don't hear the wind. It's much more cleaner. You won't get any distortion or any kind of port noise at all. But regardless, of course, and then I have the signal, of course, 1500. Signal, sorry. I have 1500 on both, so you can tell that these are the same volume, etc. So yeah, in the SPL now, as you can see, from roughly 28 hertz all the way up, it peaks. Peaks out around 36, 37 hertz. It plays across pretty close. As you can see that how that line shows it right across there. That shows how wide that band is to play at 36 hertz, 120 dB. So I would recommend, if the box space, if you do have half a cube, which would probably be about another 6 inches wide of a box, if you could build that much, same height, same depth, but only about 6 inches more wider in your vehicle, which is about the width of a hand. If you could do that, the length of your hand, so this way from the fingertip to the bottom right here, if you can measure across your trunk, so it's about that much, then we could build that box, which you can see plays dramatically with the same wattage, all the same things, and with your port noise and excursion and all your stuff, it plays the same thing. Very clean, a lot more cleaner than the version that they recommend.